You will have your seat, please. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of our dear state, the President of the Customary Court, who is representing the Chief Judge of our state, and other sister judges and brothers that are here, the former Deputy Governor of our dear state, Engineer Taylor, distinguished Senator John Mata. Let me use you as a point of contact to serving and former members of the National Assembly and State Assembly that are here with us, the service commanders that are here, the chairman of the Nigerian Legion, Rivers State, and our very distinguished guests that are here with us, the widows of our fallen heroes, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government and the people of Rivers State, I welcome everyone to the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. Today is a national day of celebration and remembrance, and I am privileged to join you in celebrating and honoring our fellow comrades who wear the uniform in service to our country. From the colonial era to independence, through the Civil War and peacekeeping combat operation across Africa and beyond, to the challenge of internal insurgency and banditry, Nigeria of every generation have answered the national call to serve their country, risking everything to protect and preserve our country, defend our sovereignty, and advance peace across Africa and the globe. Every day, our armed forces are deployed to fight across the country. They are in the northeast fighting Boko Haram and other Islamic insurgents and terrorists who have taken up arms against their own country and citizens, thereby threatening the very fabric of our nation, our religious freedom, cultural value, and standard way of living. Over the years, we have had soldiers deployed to the northwest and the north central, combating banditry and criminal abduction that have caused and continue to cause immune distraction and destruction of life and property, untold displacement and immeasurable hardship to our people in several communities. Our soldiers also are in the southeast and also part of the southern Nigeria, fighting the distinctive security challenges of these areas, including organized pipeline vandalization and transnational crude oil theft in our creeks and also in the high seas. Many of our soldiers paid the supreme price during First and Second World War, and in several peacekeeping combat operations they participated in. Nigerian families reportedly lost over 1 million soldiers during this endless 30 months civil war. We also know that many more have died and continue to die in the infamous Sambisa forest and other battle zones across the country, fighting to keep our people and our communities safe and secure from Islamic terrorists and bandits. Today, before we proceed, it is important to mention that God has provided another opportunity to reflect on this sacrifice and legacies of our armed forces, and to collectively express our gratitude to our men and women who paid the supreme price in the service of our nation, to the families and loved ones they left behind, and to our veterans and their families. We celebrate our armed forces as an embodiment of courage, duty, and patriotism that inspire all of us from generation to generation with a sense of purpose forged in service and sacrifice. We celebrate our armed forces for their extraordinary sacrifice, loyalty, and unwavering dedication to the unity, peace, and progress of Nigeria as one indivisible nation. We further celebrate our armed forces for enabling and sustaining the prevailing peace in most parts of our country, just as the freedom we express and take for granted as citizens of these great countries are safeguarded by their blood and sacrifice. The unwavering resolve and dedication of our soldiers in the face of overwhelming odds should serve as a timeless reminder of the power of courage, the cause of liberty, and the enduring value of freedom and justice. Against this fact, we owe all our fallen and serving heroes the tremendous and lasting debts that will lack what it takes to repay. And history will be unkind to us if we ever forget to celebrate their bravery, honor their memory, and preserve their legacy forever. Let us not reduce their sacrifice to a mere memorial ritual, but strive to imbibe the value of which they fought and died as national guiding principle that inspire us to cherish peace, uphold justice, and foster a society that gives everyone the true sense of belonging. Today is not only for us to honor our fallen heroes, it is also a time to appreciate our veterans who have retired to civilian life, and the Gold Star family will bear the full weight of sacrifice, living without their spouse, their parents, their children, breadwinners, and also their loved ones. These are our patriots who have given so much to our country and who deserve our heartfelt gratitude, measurable support, and prayers at all times for their personal sacrifice and invaluable contribution to national peace and security. Above all, we're humbled by their sacrifice and inspired by your resilience. On behalf of the government and the people of Rivers State, I thank our veterans, their family, and the families of our fallen heroes from Rivers State, and assure them that we will never forget their heroic legacy of service and sacrifice to the motherland. As a nation, we must continue to honor our promise to celebrate our armed forces and to honor their legacy of service and sacrifice. We keep this promise when we defeat the Boro and associated armed terrorists, and bringing all internal armed conflict and combat operation to a definitive end. We keep this promise by prioritizing and enhancing the welfare and well-being of our armed forces and ensuring that they and their family have access to quality health care, decent housing, and an improved quality life. We keep that promise by leveraging our diversity to build a united, peaceful, secured, and vibrant nation, anchored in justice, freedom, and fundamental rights, where no one is oppressed, and the benefit of economic progress are distributed fairly and are not accessible to everyone. Let me therefore express my appreciation to our President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his unparalleled commitment to building a strong military that is ready to defend our sovereignty and tackle this nation's internal security challenges. We also commend our President for equipping our armed forces with the modern weapons they need and also motivating them through significantly improved salaries and other welfare packages, which have delivered visible successes in his administration. Has achieved in the fight against Boko Haram and associated terrorism. As a state, our responsibility is to support the federal government, our armed forces, and other national security agencies in maintaining peace and stability in Rivers State and beyond. I reiterate that I will continue to strengthen our relationship with the various military command structure in Rivers State and provide relevant logistical support to enhance the operation and well-being, including efficiency. We will also continue to advance the welfare and well-being of members of the Nigerian Legion from the state and their families through good, inclusive governance and the provision of direct social economic opportunities. We also call on wealthy citizens and corporate bodies to do whatever they can to support the well-being and welfare of our veterans and their family, including employment, healthcare, and their children's education. I want to mention here that in line with our support, the Secretary to the State Government have been given a marching order to ensure that the employment as promised by the state government for the children of our veterans will immediately be attended to. So, Secretary to the state government, you don't have any reason to delay that employment because it is part of our way to show our social, economic support to the families. Finally, as we celebrate and honor our fallen heroes, let's resolve to build a strong, resilient nation that will not forget its past. As the state government, our responsibility is to support I want to So let me try and close. I thank you and may God bless you all for coming to celebrate our fallen hero and our veteran. We assure you that we'll continue to support you, not just in terms of making promises, but ensuring that all promises made are redeemed on good time. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Nigeria.
Approached edge of altitude zone.
Thank you, and may God bless everyone.